So honestly, I don't know what sort of thumbnail we're gonna need or title we're gonna need to save this video, but let's make sure we get on it, you know?
Oh, you're here already.
Well, I guess it worked. Well, since you're here, why don't we talk a little bit about what I eat in a day to stay full during a calorie deficit and some of the things that I do. Now, a quick preface, I just wanna let you know, this is not me saying this is what you should eat. This is what I have found works best for me. If you already got something working for you, just stick with that. If you don't have something working for you, maybe there's some things that you can take from this video to help yourself out. Now, I will be explaining why I choose to do these things, and that logic might be something that you resonate with. If that's true, give it a shot. If it doesn't work, don't expect it to be the end all be all to your problems. So let's go ahead and start off with the very first thing I consume in the morning, which is around 7 a.m., and that is mushroom coffee. I know what you're thinking, mushroom coffee, you can't get coffee from mushrooms.
Enjoy tripping out on your way to work.
It's not quite those mushrooms. I still drink regular coffee from time to time. Does it really work long term? I don't really know. Does it make me feel less jittery in the morning and more energized and more focused? Absolutely, and that's why I take it. So that's what I consume at 7 a.m., and I don't really even count it. This is still me fasting. I'm not doing a true intermittent fast, as the hardcore people will tell you. I'm consuming something with calories in it, and so for the hardcore intermittent fasters, I'm probably doing it wrong, but at the end of the day, it's creating a caloric deficit. It's helping me manage hunger. That's all I care about. Then basically from 7 to 9, I'm getting ready for work. I'm getting my kid ready for school. I'm driving her to school. I'm driving to work. By the time I get back, I get settled in and get started working. Me and my group of coworkers, we go to a local gas station like right across the street, and we get our usual morning stuff. A lot of them get little snacks and other things that I'm not gonna get, but I get caffeine. I get another form of caffeine. Now most of the time it's some form of energy drink, and sometimes it's coffee. It just kind of depends on where we go, because there's also a coffee shop nearby. It's a pretty cool little spot. And again, this is just another way for me to get some more caffeine that's at like a mild dose, because usually for me it's the amount of caffeine at once versus being spread out throughout the day. And I've actually seen better results with staying full and staying energized, or at least having enough energy to get through the day, when I consume caffeine in sort of 2 different doses, one in the earlier morning, one in like the mid-morning time. So then the next time I consume anything is around noon. So between noon and 1 p.m., I'll have my lunch. Now I work relatively close to where I live, so I will just come home, I'll do some chores, I'll prep my lunch, I'll eat my lunch, and then I'll go back. I get about an hour for lunch. That's basically what I do. So I'm pretty lucky, but on days where I'm busy or I've got a meeting or something around that time, I'll just bring lunch to work, and I'll either eat it before or after that meeting or some sort of work event. What I eat is pretty much the same. It's either it's like a salad of some kind. It's spring mix, low fat, Caesar dressing, and then some chicken breast. And there's nothing special about this meal other than the fact that it's really convenient. It keeps me full. It's relatively low calorie in terms of like what a meal would normally be. It's around 350 calories. If I eat anything too heavy in the morning or for lunchtime, I'll typically just feel kind of like lethargic the rest of the day. So I save the majority of my bigger meals, my bigger snacks for the afternoon and the evening, which you'll see in a couple of minutes. Again, protein, fat, and vegetables, that's my main priority. Those things will keep me full longer. Some people will want to do more carbs, less fat. Again, that's a preference thing. If it's working for you, stick with it within that calorie allotment that you're giving yourself for a calorie deficit. There's nothing special about what I'm doing. All right, so then after lunch, I don't eat again until I leave work to go pick up my kid, and I usually have a snack on the way to go grab her. It's usually an apple and a peanut butter sandwich on some keto bread. There's nothing special about why I use the keto bread, other than the fact that it's lower calorie and it's the majority of the carbs are coming from some sort of fiber. So I like that. I like fiber. Fiber's good for you. So I just have one slice of bread. I put that on my food scale, and then I measure my peanut butter, which might seem insane, but when you're in a calorie deficit, you have to measure your fats. I know that some people might call that food obsessed or having some sort of eating disorder. I think that's kind of insane to think that. Measuring your food and being accurate with what you're consuming is probably just as healthy as anything else that you do. Managing your exercise, tracking how much weight you use, tracking your weight on a scale. I don't see it as an unhealthy behavior. If anything, it's a smart behavior. It's an educational behavior. All right, next meal of the day is the biggest enigma, and that is dinner. And that is because my wife makes it and I do not measure dinner, which might seem like not a great idea, but you have to consider as a busy dad, work-life balance or work goals balance. Like, my whole perspective is I don't want to put any extra burden on my wife to measure out all of the food that I'm eating to the gram, but she does do an amazing job and very supportive job of wanting to at least help me manage what it is that I'm consuming. She'll have me measure out my carbohydrates if we're consuming that. She'll ask me beforehand. She'll try to make healthier options. She'll find protein pasta instead of regular pasta. So those sort of supportive behaviors is really all I could ask from a spouse and all you could ask from your spouse. And if you're anything like me, you want to be diligent, but you don't want it to completely interfere with your life. If you're trying to get down to like sub 10% body fat, you probably have no choice other than to make sure that you measure out all your food and probably even eat separately. More power to you for doing that. But for me personally, the cost benefit of that sort of thing for me right now at this stage isn't worth it. I'd rather see how far I can get just letting my wife make dinner and try to make healthier choices together than trying to like take every single grain of rice and make sure that I'm measuring it for dinner. It's just, again, it's a nice little break from measuring my calories, but I'm still monitoring them. So whenever I'm tracking this, I just do my best to try to figure out about how many calories I'm consuming based on the meal that we're having. And then I use an app. This is not a plug, by the way. I just use it because I like it. I use an app called MacroFactor. If you're familiar with Jeff Nippert, it's his macro tracking app. And one of the things it has on there is an AI feature where you can take a picture and it basically analyzes your food. Is it 1,000% accurate? No, but it's much more accurate than you would imagine. And I use that as a baseline, and then I make adjustments based on certain things that I know might be a little bit less inaccurate or a little bit more inaccurate, and I try to make those adjustments to make it more accurate. All right, last but not least, this is my favorite and probably the largest caloric meal that I have at the end of the day, and that is around 7 to 7:30 p.m. So I try to go to bed around 8 p.m. Sometimes it's 8:30. A lot of times we're helping our daughter go to sleep. She's not the most fun with bedtime, and she doesn't just go to sleep. She's not at that age yet. She's only 3, so I don't expect too much from that. But anyway, I try to eat between 7 and 7:30, and this is, again, my favorite meal of the day. This is what I call Proats protein oatmeal. It's protein powder, Greek yogurt, Quaker Oats packet of fruit and cream. I just like the pre-made packets because they taste amazing and they add a lot of flavor. And then I add frozen blueberries. And so I just mix that all up. Sometimes it's up in the neighborhood of like 750 to 800 calories, and you might be thinking,
holy crap, couldn't you dial that back a little bit?
Again, a very specific preferential thing. I do not like to go to bed hungry. So my biggest meal in terms of calories and like volume for the most part has to be at the end of the day, or I'm waking up at 2, 3 a.m. and I'm hungry, and I hate that. I don't mind waking up early, but I hate waking up hungry and I hate going to bed hungry. So it's much more important for me to partition my calories at the end of the day to feel full to go to sleep than it is to have calories at the middle of the day and feel full. I rather feel hungry and not so satisfied at the middle of the day than I would at the end of the day. So that's just why I specifically do that. Does this affect my morning weigh-ins? Sometimes it does, depending how late I eat. So anyway, thanks a ton for watching this video. I hope this at least maybe gave you a little bit of insight as to why I do this. I'll go ahead and put my macros over here on the screen if I haven't already, just so you can kind of see what my daily caloric intake is and what my daily macros look like. It's nothing too crazy. That's my video for today. Thanks a ton for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you put a comment down below if there's anything I can help you with, or if there's any questions you have about this video and why I eat what I eat, because it's a little bit crazy sometimes. And then if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, because I got a lot of videos down the pipeline, and I'm here to help you as a busy dad try to figure this whole fitness thing out while also managing a family and managing your job and doing everything else you got to do in everyday life. I know it can be a lot. I do it every single day, and I'm happy to share what I have found to work best for me, and hopefully it'll work best for you too. Thanks for watching today's video. I'll see you in a future video.